finally bought a project car. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? So I've just bought this E46 330i Touring, and it's a manual, which, if you know anything about the E46s, the manuals are getting rarer and rarer because they're either turning into drift cars or just left for dead, really. This is in a rare colour called grey green, which I particularly like, and if you've seen M539 restorations, you'll know he has a 525i Touring in the same colour, which he's put M Sport bumps on, which I might do at some point as well. So let's have a walk around. So let's start with the good bits. The good bits, it has a manual gearbox and grey leather interior. I always like the grey leather interior on the E46. I always thought it was the best one. And I think it goes particularly well with the grey green colour. So there we go. M54, 3 litre, straight 6, 228 something horsepower, I can't quite remember. But yeah, with this car basically the gearbox and the engine are pretty solid, and that's almost where the good things stop mechanically, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, also, as you heard, someone has put an aftermarket exhaust on. They've heat wrapped the manifolds as well because they were going to go racing in it and then decided not to, and that's sold it back to their mate, and then I bought it from their mate. It's this nice green colour, which I think is good. All the electrics and all the stuff actually works. We have a 6 CD interchanger in there, however the hell I get into there. We have a 6 CD interchanger in there. There is a spare wheel under there as well. Split folding rear seats, which do need a clean, but there's also cup holders in there. Look at that. Amazing. Wow, bit of storage in there as well. Also have bit of storage there. Got some new front indicators that came with the car, and one of the issues when you drive it, the traction control and ABS light comes on, which is known to be the wheel speed sensors, and it's also come with a couple of them, so that's good. And it's come with this colour system, which is the colour of the car, believe it or not. So I'm hopefully going to use that to repair these little bits of rust out here, because the main bit of the car is okay actually. There's just a little bit there on the arch. I've just noticed that there, but that's only small bubbling. There's this on the driver's door, and apart from the obvious, that's it for rust. I mean, the wings obviously is going to be a straight up replacement. There's nothing I can do to save them. But yeah, the rest of the car is actually pretty straight, and underneath, like, look down there, there's no rust down there or anything, and I've had a good look underneath before I bought the car, and I checked the boot floor, and that's all good as well. So that's one of the reasons I bought it. So the interior, there's not that many options really, apart from the mould, which is there. I think there's a bit on that seat as well. That's all going to need cleaning. Obviously there's no radio. We have electric windows all around. We also have power fold mirrors, which I believe is not a very common option on these. Auto lights. And that's about where the things sort of end on the interior. Now you're probably wondering the mileage. Now this car has done a fair few miles. It has done, let's see, when this oil service disappears, 225,157. So yeah, quite a lot of miles, but the reason I'm not worried about that is because it comes with full, and I mean full, service history. So we have the service booklet, which is stamped all the way from new in its first service at 16,000 miles, which is stamped all the way up to 165,000 miles, and then we move on to the rest of the service history. All that. So there you can see it's had oils and filters at 224,000 miles, and it just goes on and on from there really. There's all sorts of receipts for work done as well. So it's had alternator, fuel pump, water pump. God, what else? I'm sure there was something else, but there is plenty of stuff in here for work done. There's all sorts of bits of trim. I think some under trays were replaced. So yeah, we've got some good history with this car. Now, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with it. I've always wanted to do a drift project and turn an E46 into a drift car, but I feel like this is almost too good, but then it does have high miles, so the value of it's never going to be sort of the top value of a manual touring would get, but I'm not too bothered about that because I do plan on keeping this car for a long time. I want to do some road trips once I've fixed it up. But yeah, I'm not sure. Part of me wants to, because it's got no MOT, part of me wants to do it up nice, get an MOT on it, because it's not that far off having an MOT. It's got new tyres all around. So I could get it through an MOT and then I can drive it and then just do the rest of it as and when. Or I turn it into a drift car, but then I need to buy a trailer, which would cost me more than the car cost me. And you probably wouldn't know that as well. The car cost me £1,300. Now, you might think I've overpaid for this, and sometimes I wonder the same, but considering the engine and the gearbox and the colour, and to be fair, there's not that many issues to fix, it's okay. Something is only worth as much as someone is willing to pay, isn't it? So that's what I was willing to pay, and the guy delivered it for me, so we're good. We've got xenon headlights, I forgot to mention that. So where do we go from here then? I think what I'm going to do before I do anything else is clean it, inside and outside, get rid of that mould, see how bad the rust is really. I'm going to take the wings off. I think we're missing 3 wheel arch liners, there's only 1 there. So I'm going to clean all the inside of that, get it all as clean as I can. There is a little bit of oil on the steering rack, which I'm not sure where that's come from. So we're going to clean that up and then see if we can see where it's coming from. I'm guessing it's either the rocker cover gasket or the oil filter housing gasket, because I've looked through all the paperwork and I've not seen any paperwork for them. So that's basically the first 2 jobs that I'm going to do mechanically. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into this project. And if you want to follow me along with it, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think in the end I probably will get it on the road. I think we'll maybe put some M Sport bumpers on it, some better wheels, spacers, and maybe coilovers or something. Sort of slightly OEM plus, but I don't want to go crazy with it because I think the E46 just looks good as it is. I don't think it needs much modifying really. So yeah, I'm going to kind of do an M539 restorations style one because his just looks amazing, doesn't it? Maybe go for a roof bar delete as well. We have got roof bars. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm hopefully going to be releasing videos going forward, just doing sort of bits on the car. Also, they might not be as fast as I want because I have a job and that is not going to pay to buy all the parts for this straight away. So we're going to be doing it over a fairly long period of time, but I don't think it'll be too long until we can get it through an MOT. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.